Probably my biggest memory is just hanging out with my teammates because we brought I think 8 people and we're just all there for each other and we motivate each other and we really push ourselves to do the best we can to just have fun with it. Because last year some of us kind of ruined the point of it. We were nervous, but this year we made it a standpoint to have fun with it. So that was my biggest memory, just being with my teammates.
I'd like to say I instill it, but I don't. That's really on them, where they do the work on their own to make that happen. We talk about it, but me making fun of the guys doesn't necessarily get it where we need it to be. They really took responsibility. For me, it was just a really fun meet because we had men there that were enjoying it and we're supporting it and we're picking each other up and we're really able to be really focused and really serious and really enjoy it at the same time and just know, hey, this is a cool thing and we don't get to do this very much. And that's great. That's just great. It's a lot of fun and we're able to get some coaches out there as well, and it became just a really enjoyable, I guess it was 4 days overall, the whole thing. But just really was fun, and people were focused and people were into it and people were really supportive, which was just super cool. So.
Oh, basically, I'm really grateful that what happened last year, because you learn more from failure than success. And going into last year, I thought, oh, I had it. But then when I got there, like I said, I was nervous and my mindset was crushed and it hurt a lot. So I brought that pain going into the next year into practice of just working hard, preparing every single day. And then, like I said, just have fun at the meet. And you did the work. So just be confident and everything will come together. So that loss definitely, it also, when I found out I won, it just made it that much sweeter. Well, my adrenaline was through the roof, honestly, and because I was really trying to do something, completely just do my absolute best, and that was actually a bad thing because I was thinking too much again, and I was like, oh my God, this is happening again. I'm nervous again. All this preparation is thrown out the window, but then, I caught myself. I was like, you don't want to do this again, So through the 60, I knew that we were tapering, so there's no way I shouldn't PR. And I ran my race, I won my heat, that was cool, but I still wasn't feeling it. I was still thinking too much for some reason. And then it showed in the long jump where I jumped my worst jump of the entire year. So it was just really, this is happening again? But then my last jump, I fouled over a 22, which would have been huge. And that's when the energy shifted. And I was like, let's just have fun. You didn't get it, who cares? You have 2 more events, you just have to forget about it. So then, season best in the shot put, which was awesome. And then going into high jump, that's my favorite event. I'm I just jumped 6'9" 2 weeks before that. I'm ready, and I jumped my worst high jump of the year in the heptathlon, and it was really frustrating. I was angry at the moment, but I just trusted that everything's going to work out. I still have day 2. Just stay positive. It's really hard. It's so mentally challenging. That's why I really like the event, and. Like I said, we had my teammates, so it was just going there alone, it would have been way harder. They really helped. Just we just talked about the meet, and just talking about renting it out really helps you get a better perspective of how the day went going into day 2. And then day 2, I woke up pretty sore because of adrenaline once again. But I was hurdles and pole vault are really coming together. You're going to get a lot of points there, And so in the hurdles, had a great warm-up, and then I was in the race with Connor, and he beat me. I was like, oh, he's trying to win a national championship too. So you know, I was still on my edge of my toes to do the best I can in pole vault. And got into pole vault. I PR'd in the pole vault in the heptathlon. But Connor beat me again in the pole vault, and I was like, well, this is going to come down to the 1,000. This is crazy. You know, we trained so hard for this moment, and it's anyone's game now. It's really going to come down to who wants it more in a way. And then the John Hopkins kids pole vaulted. He just kept going and going and going. Like, he wouldn't stop. And at that moment, I was like, all right, I lost the meet. Like, he has it. And then I was warming up for the 1,000 because he was still pole vaulting. So I'm warming up, just like thinking, like, all right, just have fun with this. You know, when is this opportunity so scarce? Just do your best, do your best. And then my coach goes over and he says, "You're only down 22 points from first." And I just like shot up, like, really? I was so surprised about that. And then I was like, I prepared so much for this moment. It's do or die in a way. You have to do it. And just the training, the training and the mental training I've been doing on my own, I was ready for it. And so I got to the 1,000 on the line. I just shut my brain off. Said, don't look at the clock. Run as fast as you can. Don't look behind you. And whatever happens, happens. And finished the line, I did it. Just like a really humbling feeling. I kind of screamed and like yelled a lot. I just let out a huge burst of energy just because I did it, and it was so frustrating the whole meet, and to end it like that, especially the theme of my mindset was to trust, just trust it, trust the process. It was unbelievable. It really was inspiring in a way. I just couldn't believe it actually happened.
Two biggest things that come to mind for me was at the end of day one, as the scores are out there and people are seeing we're sitting in first, second, third, I think my phone started to melt from the number of texts and tweets and everything else that was coming in, which was great to have people from the college and the team and alumni and you know, just folks that care about the program that are writing me, when really they're the ones doing the work. I'm just sort of standing there at that point. It was really cool. And then the other part of it is going, well, you know, Jack and Connor really didn't have good days. And they're both about 100 points behind where they should be. One of the things we've talked about for Jack's time here and Connor's time here is you got to be so good that you can overcome a goof. You can overcome a bad event, and that's really, well, I must have said that to you after 6 events, right? Just, hey, yep, we're okay, we're doing good enough, yep, we're doing good enough, yep, we're doing good enough. And, you know, in my mind, the only event Jack really did well in was the 1,000. And then, you know, we look at Brent, who ended up 7th, he did phenomenal in, you know, I think 5 of the 7 events. He was just unbelievable, and that got him up to being All-American, and that's the other way you can do it. And then Connor was really good in a lot of events, and then not so good in a couple others, and survived that to be 3rd. And you know, it was just kind of amazing from that end. But the other one from my perspective is I'm sitting there with triple jump while both Dewan and CJ are competing, and I'm watching the vault on the other side of the arena and just keep watching the young man from Johns Hopkins keep going higher and higher, and I've got all the points calculated out and where everything is, and you know, every time he cleared a height I'm scribbling down and doing math and you know, nope, I forgot to carry the 1 and doing all this sorts of stuff and figuring out where they need to be going into the 1,000 relative to him, and then really relative to each other in terms of trying to do it. And then, you know, it's like, you know, I just wanted to see us go 1-2. I didn't care which order it was, and you know, it was pretty amazing to be in that sort of a situation, and it really just amazing for these guys to have that opportunity and to go after it. And, you know, it's a weird sport where you're on the same team and you're competing against each other. Yeah, that is a weird thing.
It was hard because it's like I wish we can both win, but it doesn't work that way. And honestly, Connor deserves so much, and Brent deserves so much of what happened. You know, they're all American too. They put their heart into the sport, into that meet. You know, it's not like it's bigger than winning. Honestly, it really is. Well, it really is mostly Coach Patrick coaching the multis. We have Phil, who he helps us with the hurdles basically, and just like fitness work, which is awesome. Just their dedication too. They're leaders, so the way they behave will affect how we behave, and obviously I think we've been pretty successful. So that's just a showing of who they are, and also just like being human. You know, we try to be the best person, not just the best at track, but the best person you can be, and just looking up to them. It's inspiring to see how good with people they are, and I feel like that's like one of the best skills you can have is just be good with people and just be a good human being. I mean, you may see the titles and the awards, but the work that goes behind the scenes is what really matters. I mean, all the good habits, you have to have good habits. Every thought that you put into your head matters. Every moment of the day matters. And so my advice for any Cortland track athlete is you have to make a goal, and you have to do everything you can to achieve that goal. And it's hard. It's supposed to be hard, because if it wasn't hard, then everyone would do it, and not many people do it.
Well, I think there's two things. I've been lucky that we've had some pretty exceptional people come through the program that are really willing to work, and they're really willing to be dedicated, and they're really willing to commit. And I think, we always have the saying, you don't make our wall. The All-American certificates don't go up in our office unless you win. But the history of our program of all these national champions is a really long and extensive history. We have a lot to be proud of with track and field and cross country at Cortland. We have a lot to be proud of all our sports at Cortland, obviously. So I've been really fortunate that I've had a ream of athletes that work really hard, that are really dedicated in terms of their lifestyle and their decisions. And Jack talked about focus through the day, and it's just so many little decisions. And been really fortunate that we've had a lot of folks that have bought in, because we talk all the time about a philosophy of we're trying to pursue excellence, and it's not about being a good sprinter or throwing something far. It's about being excellent in everything to the best of your ability. And we've had some folks that haven't been great athletes that have done just as good of a job pursuing that, and are now doing phenomenal jobs in their profession. So we're really lucky with that. And Jack and Connor and Brent, and the other 5 guys that were with us at the national meet. It's they only take the top 15 men in the country to the meet. Just going there is an amazing achievement. And none of the guys that were there got there without having those traits, because they're all amazing. Probably the biggest thing that stands out for me with Jack that separated him from a lot of other athletes is Jack has an amazing ability to not do well at practice, and he can't get something. It's not there. He hasn't picked up the skill. And then the next day we practice that skill. It might be a day later, might be 2 days later, might be 4 days later. He comes back and he has it figured out. And it's a pretty amazing thing. So, I mean, that is, a lot of that is an innate gift, and a lot of that is Jack thinks about this an awful lot and puts an awful lot of time into it, and that sometimes gets in his own way. But, it's really amazing, and the attention and the focus and just sort of the belief and the buy-in are just really exceptional in terms of in terms of where that is. And you know, I think it's not just Jack. I think we have a huge crew of guys and women that are doing that right now, and we're really fortunate to have that. And it's, as a coach, that's just really fun. The results are really fun, but the having that attitude and having that assertiveness to get it done right every day, all the time, it's so fun to show up. It just really is. It's a great joy to be at practice. It's a great joy to go to meets. It's a great joy to do that stuff. And you know, we're really fortunate that we have a staff that's looking at the same thing, as they just believe in it, and they believe in these shouldn't call them kids, but you know, these students and what they care about and how much they care, and we want to make sure we're matching that. And that's super fun. You can tell by how excited I am right now, right? But it's really just so enjoyable to do. It's amazing that someone will pay me to do this, because it's just so enjoyable.
I'm actually doing one this Thursday at Kutztown, and I'm just gonna trust, like I said, trust and see what happens. Like, I don't want to chase points. Like, I learned so much about it. Like, don't chase the points. That's what I did when I was younger, but I'm more mature now. So I'm just gonna trust in the training that I've done, not get away in myself, because it's super mental, and then just appreciate every moment, every single moment I have during the 2-day competition, because it's like 16 hours long in 2 days, and just really be present to the moment, appreciate every foul, every warm-up, whatever, because it could be one of my last decathlons ever. So I'm not going to get in the way of myself. I'm just going to have fun, and if I score good, that's awesome. If I don't, work harder.